Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Pramod Pandey, and in this lecture, we will learn about the IAC TAN event after reporting period. Again, this is a very small standard, but an important one. You need to know about this standard because when you will be drafting the answer for the report writing, you probably would be having something for your IAC TAN. These are my expectations, right? So with this note, we'll start with this accounting standard, okay? But before starting with the main principles, rules which are out there in a IAC 10, there's a one thing which I just wanted to discuss about with you. There's a two things which are out there. There's a one thing which is known as a financial year. You probably would be knowing about that. This is from April to March. And there's a one thing which is known as in reporting year. Now, reporting year can be anything or it could be any period for which the company are preparing their financial statement and for which the company are preparing or presenting their financial statement. Is that clear? Now, suppose these are 12 months reporting period of a company. This is a opening year and this is a closing year, also known as a reporting date. Okay. So company does have many transactions in this duration and they have to report them and they have to include all of them into the financial statement. So the financial statement they will be making after this period, because ultimately it would not have been possible to make the financial statement before the end of the reporting period. Because if you would be making the financial statement before the end of the reporting period, in that case, you will not be incorporating those transactions into the financial statement. In order to incorporate all the transactions into the financial statement, you need to start making or drafting the financial statement after the reporting period, so that you would able to incorporate each and every transaction which is out there at the reporting date. So once the reporting period end of the 12 months, suppose we are taking the 12 months reporting period, after those 12 months, you start making reports and financial statement, right? Now you're making the financial statement, the reports there. And this is very obvious in order to make the reports and to get them audited. These two things are a time-taking process, right? And what I assume that the reporting date and from the time when the financial statement are ready to be authorized by the company, there's a time period which is known as a time period which is after the reporting period. And whatever the transaction which is going to happen in this duration are known as an event which are happening after the reporting period. So this standard is basically how we have to deal with the event which are happening in this duration. Okay. Keeping this, the chart inside your mind, I just wanted to explain the story and then rules, and then we'll look on the example which are out there. Okay. Just make sure that you remember what we have been through till now. Now, suppose there is a realistic company. Realistic story is there. Ford March company prepared the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2005. And they authorized for the issue. So this is the time which is taking up to make the financial statement and to get them audited. And afterward, they will be having. So on this day, there was some transaction which has happened. A customer owning how many? $2 lakhs went bankrupt. In that case, they will not be having expectation to receive, how to have money from that customer, right? So in that case, how we have to account for that is a question that we have to deal for, okay? And on 15 February, a fire destroyed the warehouse. So how we are going to account that for the financial statement is something a problem. On 20 March 2010, the director proposed a dividend. The proposer of the dividend and the declare of the dividend are the two things. So all of the transactions which are happening in between the event after the reporting period and the authorization date, these are basically the event which are known as an event after the reporting period. And the main concern area, whether we should incorporate this or adjust non-adjust into the financial statement, right? Now the question is that which of these events should be adjusted into the last year closing year financial statement, or the one we are making currently? Which one should be closed off and which one should be having a no effect? So this all question has been answered by the ISA 10. Okay. Now you will see this. So now we will see the definition of what does the ICA 10 says. Event after reporting period are either it could be favorable or unfavorable. Acha, from these events which are happening, that is sure that we are in doubt like what should be the counting event for each one of them. Now, it could also happen that some event could be a favorable one for the company and some would be unfavorable for the company. So event which are happening, either it could be a favorable or it could be unfavorable, okay? But these happen in between the reporting date and the date when the financial statement are going to be authorized. These are the two dates which you need to remember. So event which are happening after the reporting period are favorable, unfavorable event that occur between the date. This is all what the definition you need to remember for this, right? Now, there's the two type of the event. Now, it could be favorable, unfavorable, that is a different thing. But the event which are happening, these are the two types. The first thing is adjusting event, the event which need to be adjusted into the financial statement, right? And the event which are non-adjusting event, okay? If I just try to make you understand what are the adjusting event are. So these are events that provide further evidence of the condition existed at the reporting date. So adjusting event are the event that need to be adjusted into the financial statement, and they basically are something that gives you the evidence of the condition existed at the reporting date. Suppose there were some receivables which were outstanding. They were outstanding receivable from this $2 lakh, right? Now, because that was there into the financial statement at the rate of the reporting period, which now become unreceivable, which now have become bad debt. So these are adjusting event, right? So bad debt. Customer goes bankrupt in the Jan. Confirmed receivable was already doubtful, okay? Inventory sold below the cost of the year end. In that case, it proved the NRV was lower than a year end date. Fraud which was happened, which now discovered. So even though the fraud was happened in that last year, but it's now been discovered, there was an existence into the financial statement that there wasn't fraud, and the fraud has fluctuated the financial statement values which are out there. Okay. So again, this becomes an adjusting event. Court case which is settled after the year end date and confirming the obligation existed. And this need to be adjusted into the financial statement because it is again an adjusting event, right? So by the adjusting event, you need to understand, or you need to make yourself understood that adjusting event are those events which are something that provide evidence that their existence is there at the reporting date. Okay. Bonus which is relating to the year end determined after the year end date. In that case, because the employees has worked throughout the year and whatever they have performed will determine the bonus for them. So at the reporting date, the work they have performed has an existence in the financial statement, and that is going to be the deciding factor for the bonus for them, right? And going concern issue which is discovered after the year end date, even the company is not a going concern for now being in the going concern, they would be always in adjusting event, right? Even if they would not have been any condition which was there at the reporting date, in that case also, the going concern will always need to be treated as adjusting event because there is a reason behind it. Because you are expecting that your financial statement need to be prepared on the break-even basis because you're not seeing your company foreseeable for the next 12 months, right? Now, what are the non-adjusting event? The event that indicate the existence of their condition was not there at the event reporting date, but they arose after the year ended. In that case, the financial statement are not going to be adjusted, but their disclosure need to be made only when the happening of these non-adjusting event are material. Okay. Example, the fire which has been happened, destroying the warehouse after the year ended, earthquake after the year ended, sudden fall in the investment value due to the market crash after the year ended, strike by the labor after the year ended, issue of the share, loan notes, and after the year ended, and then dividend declare after the year ended. So we do have a different case for the dividend, which is something we will be learning here for the timing. But what you need to know the two things: event which are happening after the year end date and between the authorization date are the event after reporting period. It could be favorable, it could be unfavorable for a company first thing. Now, the event which are happening are the two types: adjusting event, non-adjusting event. Adjusting event are those conditions are there at the reporting date. Non-adjusting event are those whose condition are not presented at the reporting date. In the adjusting event, the financial statement need to be adjusted. But in the case of the non-adjusting event, the financial statement not going to be adjusted. And we have been seeing some of the examples here out there. Now we will learn about the dividend school. So dividend is basically paid up by the company from the retained earning, right? And it is not an obligation until companies declare it. Dividend proposed does not create an obligation for a company, but dividend declare becomes a create an obligation for a company. So if the company has declared the dividend, in that case, there is a liability which need to be recorded to the financial statement. Declare before the index, in that case, this need to be adjusted into the financial statement because liabilities need to be recognized. Proposed or declare after the year ended, in that case, there will be no adjustment, only disclosure. If it has been proposed before the year ended, in that case also, it will be not creating any obligation, right? Because ultimately proposed dividend, which is by the company, will not create an obligation. Until unless the dividend is declared, there will be no obligation. So proposed would not be having any sort of an obligation for a company. Only declare dividend create an liability, okay? Now we'll learn about the going concern. If post-year event indicate going concern issue, we need to always adjust this even if the condition arose later. So accounting treatment summary means adjusting event need to be adjusted into the financial statement. Non-adjusting event does not need to be adjusted, but the disclosure of the nature and financial effects should be there if they are material in nature, right? Required disclosure for the non-adjusting event. They are the two requirements which you need to put on: the nature of the event and the estimated of the financial effect. That is going to be into the financial statement, right? Or the statement that it cannot be estimated, okay? Now, how it could be tested in your AAA. So what could go wrong in your AAA paper and how they can put on the question to you. Common audit tricks. It could be like they have done the misallocation. They have done the accounting for those non-adjusting event in the financial statement, and they have not done the accounting for the adjusting event. That could be a problem that you need to identify. Now, because you know what is an accounting period and what is what is a time period that is there, reporting date and the authorization date. So whatever the transactions are happening, now company might trend to do the adjustment for the favorable item. They might not adjust the unfavorable item. So all this need to be adjusted. What if they are doing this a misallocation? They are doing a misclassification of them, right? Treating a non-adjusting event as an adjusting one. Failure to adjust the financial statement adjusting event. For the adjusting event, they failure to adjust the financial statement. In that case, this would be a material statement and it would be having an impact on the financial statement. Dividend misstatement. They have recorded the liability when dividend has been proposed, and they're not recording the liability when the dividend has been declared. So in both of the cases, it would be creating a problem. What if the company is not going concern and they are not adjusting their financial statement? So this is all what the things are there. They are not including the disclosure, omission of the disclosure from the material non-adjusting event, ignoring going concern issues. So these are all the things that could be there. So once you would be knowing all this loophole, I think this would become easy for you, like how the question could be there in the paper and how you can able to score some good marks out of this, right? Now, how the exam requirement will be there. That is very obvious that you need to know that exam will not be giving you direct question requirement like this, but this should be enough to brainstorm yourself, right? So I would be urging you to make sure that you try to understand what is given there and try to brainstorm yourself, right? Explain whether each of the following is adjusting or non-adjusting event under the ICA 10 and accounting treatment. So there will be some of the adjustment or the transition which would have been there. And the question could ask you that which one is an adjusting, which one is a non-adjusting, and there could be a misclassification, there could be failure, and all this thing could be tested there, right? Identify the audit risks related to the event after the reporting period. So they can ask you indirect question, like what can be the audit risks? They could be against your event which are happening after the reporting period, right? And then recommend the audit procedure to be obtained evidence after the post event. So in order to check whether the transaction has been done or whether it is an adjusting or non-adjusting, you need to perform some audit procedure to check whether the transaction has been there in existence or not, right? So this is all what could happen in your IAC 10 event after reporting period standard, okay? And there's some of the audit procedure which are there, and you could just go through them by yourself. That is about the standard that we do have IAC 10, and we would like to meet you in the next one. I would be meeting in the next one. That is going to be the standard number new. With this standard and for this standard, I Pramod Pandey would be taking signing off in this lecture and would like to meet in the next one. Till then, take care. Have a good time. Bye bye.